What's up guys, welcome back. Today we're answering your question. This one is from Instagram, it's from Andrew Wheatcroft. It says, hi guys, I'm skinny fat I think. I have a bit of belly fat, but I'm slim. How can I strip the fat from my stomach? Let's do this. Before we answer Andrew's question, this is going to be a new series we do on YouTube. If you guys enjoy it, we're going to pick your questions from the comment box, do a whole video so we can personally answer your question, because your questions are great and they apply to a lot of people. So if you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up so we know to do more, and put a comment below so maybe we can pick your question for the next one. Okay Andrew, so the first thing you said was, I'm skinny fat, I think. So to me, that doesn't necessarily mean you're skinny fat using the terminology that I use, and I'll explain why in just a moment. I'm going to take it that you're quite a slight dude, relatively thin wrist, slim legs, slim arms. You've just got a bit of fat around the middle here. That's just where you hold it. Genetically, we all hold more weight in certain places and we lose it from different places at different times. The downside for most people, or common thing, is for having a lot of fat around that area, that can kind of mean that there's more visceral fat as well, which is basically fat around your organs. The upside to this is you have a pretty good blood supply around this area. So to mobilize those fatty acids and lose that fat is something that is certainly doable. So the way I look at skinny fat to me relates between muscle and fat. The best way to explain this is, let's just use me as an example. I've got probably just above a normal amount of muscle. I'm not particularly huge and I'm relatively lean. Let's say at the moment I've got this much muscle mass, but I'm overweight. I'm like, what do? I want to go on a diet. Let's pick this diet here. I grab a diet, I hit it hard, I lose loads of fat, but because I'm on a diet and I'm not really training that hard in the gym, I lose muscle as well. 10 weeks, 12 weeks, 6 weeks down the line, I realized that diet wasn't sustainable. It wasn't really for me. It was just one that I picked off the internet, and it didn't even fit my lifestyle in any way, shape or form. So what happens? I got to roughly where I wanted to go, and I was like, oh, that's enough. I've had enough of that. So I stopped. I go back to my old habits because I have no real eating plan in place, because that diet wasn't really a diet, it was a fad. So what happens? I gain the fat that I previously had, maybe even more. But what have I done? I've actually lost muscle from being on that diet, and I wasn't lifting weights when I was on that diet. So what happens? I'm back in the same position. I pick a new diet, which isn't more for me. And I do the same thing over and over and over. Each time I accumulate more fat when I get back to this point, but I end up with less muscle. Now my ratio between fat and muscle is way out of whack. Why do we want to have a decent amount of muscle? One, it looks good. Two, it's actually proven to have better mortality rates. You live longer if you have more muscle. It's metabolically active. Having muscle actually burns calories. Typically, the more muscle you have, the more calories you can eat in a day, so you can actually diet on more calories. It's good for your bones. It's a good indication of you've got strong joints. So muscle is really important. So when we diet, obviously we want to make sure that our proteins are adequate, we're not dieting too hard, but we are also lifting weights, because if you don't use it, you lose it. So muscle is so important, not just from a bodybuilding perspective, but from a general health perspective, especially if you want to stay lean. In my eyes, the best way and the easiest way to stay lean all year round, or to not get really overweight, is to lift weights, because muscle is so important. So for me, that's what skinny fat is. For you, Andrew, I would say you're just a relatively skinny dude with not a massive amount of muscle mass, which is not a problem, and you've just got a little bit of a belly around the middle. What I would do, dude, is probably it's down to beer. That's quite an often thing. I can only make judgments here, so forgive me if I'm wrong, but often alcohol, partying, it doesn't have a good relationship with you, because often it comes with tons of sugar, it comes with tons of calories. It's really easy to drink and build up all those calories, but your body really has to burn off that alcohol before it goes to your other fuel sources, and it doesn't really give us any nutrients or vitamins. It just gives us headaches and really bad decisions. So what I suggest you do, buddy, is go to the gym, if you're not already, or at home, and get a program that involves either moving your body or moving some weights to allow you to build some muscle. It's quite simple to do that. Typically, go to failure. If you're doing stuff at home, do press-ups till you can't do any more. Try that 3 times. As you start to progress and you get stronger, you'll have to make it a little bit harder for yourself. Maybe you can put a rucksack with some books on your back. If you're at the gym, do some squats. Do deadlifts, do bench press. Typically a good range for you would be do 3 sets of each of those exercises for 10 reps. So bench press, 3 sets, each for 10 reps with a minute to 2 minutes rest in between. Then I would look at your diet, buddy. I would think, right, obviously I know I've got to cut down my alcohol if you are drinking that. I know I don't know enough about you. So actually in the comments below, guys, put more detail so I can expand more and I can really help you. This is the first time we've done this. It was on Instagram, so there wasn't so many characters available as well. When it comes to food, let's tidy it up, man. Let's get tons of veg in there. The reason I say this is veg is really, really, really important. It also has a lot of volume. I always say this. It's very hard to overeat on bad food if you've got a lot of veg in your diet. Because let's just say you're eating meat, you have chicken, veg and rice. Eat the chicken first, then the veg. You're gonna be pretty full. So you probably might eat your rice, but you're not then gonna go to the fridge after and have all this other stuff because there's a lot of volume in veg and it's so nutritious. Veg is also really good for your gut. We know all this stuff. It's the obvious stuff, but your gut's super important and veg is king. So I want you to have balanced meals. I want to have a good source of protein in them, whether they come from meat or whether they come from a vegetarian option or a vegan option. I'm fine with that too. I want to have a good amount of veg in there, and just know if you are vegan or vegetarian, typically your diet is going to be slightly higher in carbs. That's not necessarily a problem at all. Try and get your protein up with grains and stuff like that, and think about potentially reducing your fat to keep your calories where they need to be. There's typically a ratio between fat and carbs. If one is higher, the other is a little bit lower because we want to keep our protein at least our baseline level, and then to make it fit our calories, we adjust the other two as and when we need to. So in summary, I wouldn't say you're necessarily skinny fat, mate, not in my interpretation anyway. I would say you're just a slight guy who has a bit of a belly, and you can really change that up with good food choices. Put yourself in the slight calorie, actually you don't even need to put yourself in a calorie deficit. Just start going to the gym more, start lifting weights, and chances are that will take up that deficit and really help you anyway. And try and make healthier food choices. If it's alcohol, swap that out, or go out less at least. I want you to have fun. I'm not expecting you to be a cover model. I don't want to be that way. I want you to live your life. I want you to have fun, but I also want you to feel confident in your body. I really hope that helps. Guys, please put your comments below with your questions you have. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video so we know to make another. We'll pick one of your comments. We'll go in with another one. Hopefully Leon will be here to do it with me. We can bounce ideas off each other and we can help you guys. If any of you have any more points for Andrew that you think are going to help him, again, stick it in the comments box. Subscribe if you haven't. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.